Hello everyone, my name is Pooja Naik and I'm doing my web development internship at Oasis Infobyte. I'm really delighted to say that I have completed the task 1 and task 2 of level 1 successfully. So now I'll be moving on to the task 3 of level 1. Task 3 involves the development of a temperature converter web page using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the main aim of this web page is to allow users to convert temperature units from Celsius to Kelvin, Kelvin to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius, and vice versa. So let's have a quick look onto the web page. So this is the GitHub repository of the code. Here I have uploaded the code in the repository and let's have a look onto the website. So this is the temperature converter which converts the entered unit from Celsius or Fahrenheit, Kelvin to other units such as Fahrenheit and Kelvin and so on. So let me explain the code. So this is the code for the web page and here the HTML part, it provides the structure of the page and under the style tag wherein I have declared the CSS properties. So CSS provides a design and layout for the page followed by under the script tag I have which is here I have implemented the functionality and logic behind converting the temperatures. So let me explain a little about the CSS properties I have added over here. Here in the body section, the background color is set to white and the padding is set to 30 pixels, which adds a space inside the container so content isn't touching the edges. Then coming to the container part, which is this one. So inside the body, there is a white box. We call this the container. It has a white background to contrast nicely with the gray behind it. The corners are softly rounded and there's a subtle shadow around it to make it look like like it's slightly lifted off the page like that. Look of it being like slightly lifted, giving a card-like experience to be more precise. Padding is added inside so the content isn't cramped and the width is responsive, meaning it adjusts well on the different screen sizes but doesn't stretch too wide. Going on to the heading, then at the top we have the title temperature converter. It's centered, has a bit of space below it to separate it from the input fields and is a dark gray color inside instead of the pure black one, which gives it a softer, more polished look. Moving on to the input, select and button drop down here, which is over here. It is where you can enter the temperature, the two drop downs for selecting units, and the convert button are all styled to be the same size. They stretch the full width of the container. Moving on to the button, where the button that performs the conversion is styled in a fresh green color to stand out. The text on it is white and it doesn't have a border to keep it clean. Moving on to the results display, which is over here. Finally, the area where the result appears is also centered, placed a little lower than the button, and the result is shown in bold dark text so it's easy to read. So now, since I've explained the CSS part, let me explain the script part of the program. Now let's move on to the JavaScript part, which gives life to our page. This is the logic that actually performs the temperature conversion. So here the function convert temperature, the entire logic is inside one function called convert temperature, and it runs when the user clicks the convert button, which is over here. Then in this line, which is um, the constant temp is equal to parse float, this line, it actually reads the temperature the user has entered. We use parse float to turn it into a number with decimal points in case the user enters, like, let's take for example 37.5. So getting the selected units, we can see over here this constant from unit document dot these two lines, they are associated with which the units are user selected, both the user unit and the target unit. Then coming down to this if statement, before doing the math, it checks if the user actually typed the valid number. If not, it shows an error message and stops the function. Then moving on to the conversion, the actual logic which actually takes place in this part, no matter what unit the user starts with, the script first converts it into Celsius. This acts as a middle ground, making it easier to convert into any other units. Then this part, the if 2 unit is equal to Celsius, this part converts the Celsius value into the unit the user wants, that is from Fahrenheit or Kelvin or vice versa, using the formulas and the logic which are implemented over here. Then showing the result here in result field or inner text, which is this line. Finally, it updates the page with the result using inner text. Moving on to the body part, here I have specified the what the form will contain, what it will contain, like Celsius or Fahrenheit or whatever it is. So here at the top of the container, there's a heading temperature converter. As you can see over here, this gives the page its title and lets users know exactly what the tool does. Then next there's an input box where user can type in any temperature value like 100 or 37. There's also a label above it that says enter temperature to guide the user. Then we have this drop down button wherein you can select whether if you want the unit to be converted from Celsius to Fahrenheit or from Fahrenheit to Kelvin or whatsoever it is. So now for example, let me give an input over here. So let me give the input as 373.15. Let me convert it from Kelvin to Celsius, and the answer is supposed to be 100 degrees Celsius, and that's right, we are getting over here 100 degrees Celsius. So this means that the logic is working properly, and that's the explanation of the code. Any questions, any suggestions related to the web page I've created, or any comments, then feel free to reach me out on my LinkedIn account, which I will be providing in the description. Thank you.